So how's everybody doing tonight? It is Thursday, like I said, January 20th, 2022, 2022, 2022, 20. That's too much fun. That's too much fun. Right
How
there.
is it going?
How's it going, everyone?
Welcome to the Unsung Dreamers.
What did I do? What did I do? Oh, gosh.
You did nothing.
I'm going to have to get rid of this feed over here. It's being a jerk. All right. I did nothing. You promise?
Do you have it figured out now?
I think so. I think I do.
How come you weren't more excited? Like, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Unsung Dreamers Podcast. Screamers. We don't know what to call all the shit we do.
We do too many things.
We have the story in the Monday morning and the screamers and the dreamers and the we don't know how to brand.
We have 50 different brands we're trying to use all
And
at
that's
once.
the way it's going to stay. Fuck yeah. I don't give a damn if you like me or not.
Yeah, that's it. We're going to do it. I don't care. We got 50 things, irons in the fire. I don't care what kind of rules that there are for podcasts out there. I'm just going to say, we're just going to do it. We're going to do it our way.
That's weird.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Because you're faking like you used to. Anyway, how's everyone doing? I am going to try to focus on what I'm doing, but keep talking to me.
Yeah. Keep talking to you. Keep commenting. Keep talking.
I won't see any of it.
And you won't.
No, I'm just kidding.
You won't see any of it. Right. Sure, kind of.
Oh, man. So it's Thursday. Here we go. Here we go again. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go again. What's my obsession, man?
I don't remember all the words to that song. Like
that's all I know.
I
still don't know if I even have that right.
Well, yeah, we've had people here in the studio before singing that at the top of their freaking lungs, and I don't know anything but the here I go, here I go, here I go, and the rest of it just nothing. I got nothing.
Well, you don't strike me as that kind of girl.
Knowing that song, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, not at all.
So
I just want to put this comment up here real quick. Stephanie Cagle says, we are the dysfunctional groupies. That's who's here tonight in our little group that's watching. Yay. We love you guys too.
We're a whole bunch of misfits. We're a bunch of misfits. Not a bunch of nitwits.
That's right. Dysfunctional groupies. So Brian Betancourt's here. Jody Guy is here. Stephanie Cagle, of course. And Jody Guy says, entertainment at its best.
Here we go. You never know. You never know what's going to happen next.
No,
I'll tell you that.
That is the truth. We don't know what's happening next. From day to day, it seems to be changing these days.
That's right. That's the way I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. I like it a lot. So what's
in a box?
What's in your mind this week? In your mind or on your mind?
I don't know. What's on your mind?
What's on mind? God bless America. I can't freaking talk. I can't talk.
That's because you're trying too hard.
Probably. So I just need to relax. Yep. Jared Isaac says, salt and pepper. Dave Clemens is here. Anybody else? Let's see. Anybody else getting motion sickness? You always got to get on here and just criticize. I got you, boo. That's all right.
Motion sickness. What's
yeah,
because
I'm switching the camera back and forth.
Oh,
yeah.
Give a damn.
I don't either.
Yeah. So anyway, oh, damn, man, co-hosting with you is so painful sometimes.
What in the fuck do you mean?
You just sit there, just staring at me.
You are the talent. I am the engineer.
This is just dumb.
Is it just dumb? We should just shut it down. Good night, everybody. Forget. We're done.
Shut her down. Did anybody see anything odd this week? I'm just actually asking that randomly. I don't know. Anything odd?
What do you mean see anything odd?
I don't know. Just see anything odd. I'm just asking an honest question.
Well. I mean, you could see so many things that are odd that people would think are odd that nobody else.
Did you see anything odd?
If I did, I don't remember.
Exciting.
Oh my God. Did you see anything odd?
Not that I can think of.
All right, show's over. How about you guys? Did you guys see anything anything odd out there? Let me know. Sound like such a YouTuber. Put it in the comments.
Then why do you do it?
I didn't say that.
Oh.
I didn't say it. That's the thing.
My mind's just blank right now.
I know.
Who's
I
got
can
something?
tell.
Somebody got something going on.
Oh, there's a bunch of comments here. Julia Lake. Oh, Julia, say it. Say it. Say it.
Julia Lake.
Drake.
Julia Jacob.
That's right. She says, "Hell on wheels. I just got here. Did I miss anything?" No, you have not.
No, you haven't missed much.
Missed a damn thing at all. I know. And Jared saying, "Ha ha ha. I love you guys. Just good-natured ribbing." I know. And that's what I gave you back.
Good-natured ribbing.
Good-natured ribbing.
I don't think we've ever ribbed him. Ever.
No, never. We don't do that.
We would never do stuff like that.
No. We don't do that kind of
thing.
Are you
crazy? We're very nice.
Jody Guy says he saw something odd. He saw a high-speed chase on the same road 3 nights in a row.
Damn, that's a good odd one.
That's something odd.
That is a good odd one.
That is an odd one.
I'm 99.9% sure I almost hit a bat this morning.
A bat?
Yeah, out on Highway 60.
Almost hit a bat. That's a good thing you almost hit it.
Yeah, I mean it was an inch from my windshield, but fluttered up. And it wasn't flying like a bird. The sun wasn't out yet.
Yeah.
So it was still dark when I went to work this morning, and I was out on Highway 60 heading east towards Kabul.
Kabul.
I love the name.
Kabul.
Where do you live? Kabul.
Kabul.
I'd love to live in Kabul.
Would you? Really?
Yeah.
Have you been there?
There's a street actually right over here off of Lone Pine called Fritz. Did you know that?
I didn't know. Yes, I did. I knew that. Yes. I saw that one time.
I'd like to live in Kabul. Mm-hmm. But I was on Highway 60 headed towards Kabul. And I wasn't going to Kabul, but I was heading in the direction of Kabul. And about halfway to Rogersville, freaking bat.
A bat. Because it was doing that. It was doing that like fluttery, like flying
yeah,
like this thing.
It was very batty.
It was very batty the way it flew.
It had a real batty vibe.
I love it. Yep. I like it. But you didn't hit it.
I don't know. I don't think I hit it. I didn't hear any kind of a thunk or anything like that.
That's good. His radar must have kicked in and went, whoa! Got the hell out of there.
I'll also say that if you are on Highway 65, this is very local stuff here and very interesting. If you're on Highway 65 and you jump on that road that goes to Highlandville, say if you're heading towards Branson West, between 65 and Highlandville, which is only like 4 or 5 short miles, there's about 7 deer carcasses on the side of the road.
Oh, gross.
I'm talking like bones are showing.
Ooh, like they've been there a while.
So who's in charge of the fucking cleanup out in Sparta or whatever the hell, Highlandville?
Highlandville.
Well, it's just past Sparta.
Oh,
I don't know what the hell.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I don't know if it's Sparta County or Highlandville County.
Highlandville County.
Done.
Sparta County.
I'm done with counties not being called what their fucking city name is.
But,
I'm done with it.
But what do you mean by that? Because counties.
It should be Springfield County, not Greene County. Fuck a bunch of Greene County. It's dumb.
But Greene County covers.
I'm from St. Louis, and guess what our county is up there? Guess what it is? Guess what our county is in St. Louis?
St. Louis County.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
But the thing is,
St.
Louis
County
usually in these small towns.
I don't want to hear
Daniel,
all this.
You St. Louis city boy. In these here small towns, the county usually covers multiple towns and cities. So
That's
you can't.
Dumb.
Why?
What's the point of them?
The point is a county covers multiple cities and towns.
Covers what? What's it do?
There's county road work that goes on, not just city road work. You have to have it. You have to have a county that covers all these rural areas.
Just decide how many roads is Sparta going to be in charge of. And if they're in charge of that fucking road that has 7 dead deer on it right now, you can go drive it right now. You will see the bones of 7 deer between 65 and Highlandville. That's only like 5 miles.
Is that the county's responsibility?
I don't know. That's what you're trying to argue a county does. What's a county? So what do we need an area that represents more than one city for what?
Because the county roadwork people cover the county of Greene County. Like, it's not just Rogersville ice removal. It's not Springfield
Just
ice
draw a
removal.
line of how many roads Springfield is in charge of and call it Springfield County. Dude, I pass a county line on my way to work every single day. And it's Greene County, of course, which is stupid. I just think it's dumb.
You just think it's dumb.
Yeah. And as I'm going to work, the road is beautiful and it's blacktop and there's no potholes whatsoever.
Mhm.
And there's a sign that says end of county line or end of Greene County.
Yeah.
Instantly turns into a complete shit road.
Exactly. And so here's the thing.
So then that's a Springfield County. Springfield's taking care of that road apparently. So just call it Springfield County. And then whatever roads Rogersville is supposed to take care of, just they're Rogersville County. Why are we making it so confusing?
I wish I had a government official here that would be able to explain why counties exist. Because you being from St. Louis,
government people
St.
can't
Louis
explain
County,
the difference between a hole in the ground and their ass. I've got that backwards.
that's true.
Their ass in a hole in the ground.
That's true. I'll agree with that statement.
All I'm saying is someone needs to go clean up them fucking deer because they're down in the ditch and they're all mangled and their ribs are showing. Every single one of them's got ribs showing.
Yeah, and when there's something that's hit in the city, a cat, a dog, a squirrel, it's usually cleaned up.
Right.
Mhm.
So what's going on, Highlandville? Where you at?
I wish we had that TikTok video right here. I'm at the gym. Where you at? But we don't.
I want a video of somebody out there scooping animals up off of Greene County roads, being like, I'm out here scooping animals up off Greene County roads. Where are you at? Where you at?
Where you at?
Highlandville, where you at? I don't know if it's a Highlandville road or not.
Kimberly, I'm just going to put this comment up here. She says, leaving them there for the coyotes. Okay, it's the circle of life. And also, Brian says, Shane Jennings might be able to answer that question. He does work for Taney County Road Crew.
Okay, I get the counties
So we should have him
I'm
as a
not an
guest.
idiot. I'm just saying I think they're dumb. And he can be like, I work for Taney County, and I'm going to say, well, I think that's fucking dumb. I think you should work for fucking whatever that goofy ass town he's from. Crane. You should work for.
He's from Little Bitty Crane.
You should work for Crane County.
I think.
See, that even sounds better. I work for Crane County.
You get the in there.
I work for Crane County.
That's a good name for a band, Crane County.
And if he drives all over and fixes roads, and should be like, well, where all do you go? And it's like, well, I go to Crane County and Rogersville County and Nixa County and Ozark County. I work all over the place. Why do we have to have Greene County? I don't get it.
I don't know because I don't know. Oh, Brian just corrected me. It's Stone County, not Taney County.
Stone County.
My bad.
See,
Sorry.
well, if it was just Crane, I would know he lives in Crane
Stephanie
or
says,
works in Crane.
I'll solve your problem. Just move to Florida. She says that they have toll roads that pay for shit down there. So it makes things a lot better, I guess. Somebody's talking about McRibs. I can't do three things at once. Jared also says, I'm like a bird. That song. I want to fly
like a bird. I want to fly away.
There it is.
I don't know what my home is.
Yep, there you go.
I don't know
Nice.
what my home
Very
is.
good. Very good.
It's actually, I'm singing it. We're singing it in the wrong key. Fly like a bird.
I'm like a bird.
I wanna run away.
I'm like a bird.
Whatever.
I want to fly away.
It's Nelly Furtado.
Yeah, there you go. Good job. I don't know why he wrote that. I think he's just being silly. That's good. I love it. No state tax in Florida. Oh, that's a reason right there to move to Florida.
There's
Thank
a
you,
lot
Stephanie.
of good reasons to move to
Mhm.
Florida.
Kristen. Hi, Kristen Dinar. She says counties were created for political purposes. I think that's what I was trying to say, but I didn't know how to say it.
I get it. I get it. It still seems dumb.
It
though.
seems dumb. Well, you're from St. Louis, and St. Louis County covers the entire city of St. Louis. So you're like, well, we have our own county.
That is still just so fundamentally stupid. I think.
You think?
You can look at a map of Missouri and there's like 1,000 of them fucking things.
Yeah, there's 144 counties.
It's like Missouri's either gonna,
How do I remember that?
I don't know, because of your
Because I had a test in
the work
8th
you
grade.
did with your park ranger classes or whatever you did, Ranger Rockettes or whatever you called yourself. I don't
Ranger
know.
Rockets.
fucking they got them damn names. The damn who's the Christian kids that the Royals or something.
What are you talking about? The Brownies, the Girl Scouts?
Somebody's gonna know what I'm talking about. It's a Christian group.
I wasn't in a Christian group growing up.
I know, but it was one of those groups that do weird things that don't matter. Something Royals, like the righteous Royal, whatever the fuck. I can't remember what they are.
Dave Clemens is correcting me. He says there's only 114 counties.
Dave would know more than you.
He would probably know more than me.
I promise you he knows more than you.
You're probably right. But I remember 144.
I still don't know why we would separate that up for political reasons. Why can't it's just whatever? It's Springfield, it's Nixa, it's Ozark, it's fucking Bolivar. So what? Whatever county, fuck a bunch of counties.
It's like
I think we should be done with the counties.
Julia.
I vote to be done with them.
our technical advisor.
We got a fact checker.
Our fact checker. She says Royal Rangers.
Royal Rangers. Thank you, Julia. I knew it. I knew she'd know.
Jody
they
Guy,
were kind of like the Christian
Jody Guy
Boy Scouts.
tried. He says Royal Ambassador, but it's the Royal Rangers. I
yes,
think
but I think there was an ambassadors too. Some kind of I don't know if they were royal though. Flemings might know.
Donnie Ray's here. Hi, Donnie Ray. He says, now, not to get off the current subject and rewind here, but what's Dan's deal with driving around hitting bats for like the second time?
Have I hit a bat before?
I don't know.
Have.
I think you hit something.
I drive through a ton of wildlife every single morning and every single night. I have seen, it'd be tough for you to name an animal I haven't seen dead in the last 3 years.
That sounds sad. That sounds really sad.
It'd be tough for, I mean, unless you're going to name something freaky, like a fucking, I haven't seen a sloth dead. I don't think I've seen a dead sloth.
Have you seen a cow?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Not hit by a car, but
I was going to say, I have seen a cow hit by a car, and the car didn't do too well.
In the last 3 years?
No. It's been a long time.
I'm not saying in life. I'm saying my life right now for the last 5 years, I drive into and out of basically a fucking zoo every single day. I just saw a dead fox like 2 days ago. Big old fluffy tail.
It makes me sad.
Yeah, man. I see them dead bastards all the time.
Brian's asking, have you seen a dead zebra?
I have not seen a dead zebra.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm saying if you're going to pull out some random shit like a zebra. No, I haven't seen a zebra.
I was going to say Julia, but this is the Screamer Dreamer medication information.
Okay.
Our fact checker here says Christ's Ambassadors was the teen group for Assembly of God. So Jody was correct.
Christ's Ambassadors.
So
I'm saying
he was correct. And then Jody's comment is Royal Ambassadors run the slot cars every year at the FBC Marshfield. I do the MC work for them. So he's got the name kind of right, but
I think there is Royal Ambassadors and I think
there's like
the Rangers. I think there's the Rangers. I think there's several.
It sounds really culty to me.
Well, yeah, that's why I thought the subject was going to be a funny thing to go down, like Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. I was talking about the reason why that there was so many counties is because of that other group you were in, and it was some other weird fucking name, like agriculturalists, the Aggies or some shit.
So
some small town shit.
Okay. Now there's going to be multiple people on this group here that's watching.
I know.
Get offended.
I know
because it is not that. It's.
I know, but it's something and it's got a name.
4-H.
4-H. Is that what it is? Where
maybe.
You learn what purple means on the corners of people's fences.
Yes. Well, no. Yeah. Here's the thing. At 4-H, you do that too, because 4-H was kind of like, I can't remember what the H's stand for. Somebody, maybe our fact checker can actually type in here and tell us what the 4-H's are. It's like heart, home, health, humanitarianism, or something like this. But a lot of it had to do with agricultural shit, like showing cattle and all this stuff. So I was involved in that. But I also scored a perfect score on my conservation badge test, where you get your little conservation card. You learn about shooting guns, you learn all this stuff. And I was the only kid, the city kid from California comes here and got a perfect score on my conservation badge test, or what was that called? Conservation. Anyway, is that what you're thinking of?
Something like that, yeah.
But it wasn't a group. It was just like the conservationist thing, like the animal protection people.
That's a name enough for me. I didn't have conservationists in St. Louis.
There it is. There's our head, heart, hands, health. So I was close for 4-H.
Head, heart, hands,
yeah,
health.
yeah. Thank you, our information go-getter. I was in 4-H. This is Tyler Weeks. I was in 4-H once. Then I woke up in a sleeping bag with my instructor, sweating and naked. Oh my gosh. Maybe that's for a different show, Tyler. Maybe we need to get you some.
See, I
counseling.
laugh because I have no idea if you're fucking being serious, if you're trying to be funny.
Jared tried to type in with the 4-H thing. He says, heart, home, health, and hard-ons.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm not familiar with the 4-H thing.
Yeah. Cindy Lucas had 3 out of 4. And Jared is asking FFA. So that's another Future Farmers of America.
That's another one I'm kind of thinking of.
I was never a member of the FFA. I'm going to take that hard-ons one down. I was never a member of the FFA because it's done. Who's Gates Smith is here. Hi, Gates. That's a new watcher for us, unless you just haven't chimed in before. FFA was a part of the school. I just didn't have time to do FFA, Future Farmers of America, where you wear the corduroy jacket and you do all kinds of fun farming stuff.
Right.
I didn't have that, so I didn't do that.
We got Shriners.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Royal, whatever they were.
Yeah,
Rangers.
the Royal Rangers and
the Royal Ambassadors.
Yeah.
What?
I'm just doing a little bit of censorship here. And it's gone. Okay, cool. And there we go. So our new watcher was a bit of a perv. So bye-bye.
Okay.
We I don't care. I don't get offended easily, but this is a fun show and you don't have to come in here saying stuff like that. So see, when you can't
know what it said.
When you can't say, I should block freaking Jeff Ward now. Hi, Jeff. He says the Royal Rump Rangers.
Royal Rump Rangers.
Yeah. Now I should block him.
There might have been some of that.
There might have been some of that. I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's time to do away with counties, though. I'm done with them.
You're done with counties.
I'm done with them.
But do you see? I would like someone to tell us why.
I actually don't. I don't want anyone to explain to me why we have them.
Okay.
Because I won't appreciate it and I won't respect it.
No, you won't. Your mind's made up, you fucking city boy, where your county's named after your city.
St. Louis County. That's all we needed. That's all we needed, baby.
Such a show off. Tyler Weeks is like, is this now a family show? Shit.
What the hell have you done? Turned it into a family show.
I know.
God damn it.
Stephanie.
Turned it into a good damn family show.
Jared's asking if that person was from Morocco. I don't know.
Yeah.
Might be neighbors. I don't freaking know. So Jody goes up back and he goes, let's talk about elks. I'm not sure why, but anyway. So.
Elks or Elks Lodge, where the chicken is cheap on Tuesday night.
Oh, nice. Very good.
I don't know if it's Tuesday or Wednesday, but I'm telling you can get some cheap chicken at the Elks.
Right.
I don't know anything about elks at all.
I know they're big.
I don't think I've ever seen one in the wild.
I have. We played in our band Midnight Rodeo back in the early mid-90s, played in Jackson, Wyoming, Jackson Hole, specifically Jackson Hole, but Jackson, Wyoming, when there's skiing there, and there's like an elk feeding grounds there for the winter. A lot of the elk come there for the winter. This is like really informative information. Wow. And you can actually go right up to the fence and they're like 10 feet away. And there's a herd of elk, male, female, babies, all kinds of freaking gigantic antelope. They're huge. So yeah, I've seen one in the wild.
Are they antelope or are they elk?
They're in the antelope family. Thank you very much.
I'm just wondering. I don't know nothing about them.
We can have our fact checker check.
I don't know nothing about them.
No, but it was wonderful. So yeah. And also in Colorado, driving up a mountain, there was plenty to see. So you must have been like just driving forward in your bus and didn't really like see the scenery much when you traveled.
We had shows to get to. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. We had the benefit of actually staying in a town for a week. You didn't. You just hopped from town to town.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we probably weren't paying attention to scenery now.
Probably not. Because you're fucking city people.
But I will tell you about the time we went to Mount Rushmore.
Oh, you will?
Yeah.
Okay.
Went to Mount Rushmore. We were in a 35-foot GMC bus from 1964. We were pulling a 16-foot trailer with a 5-foot tongue on it, 4 or 5-foot tongue on it. It ended up being 20 feet we were pulling behind us. And it was completely full, side to side, front to back, top to bottom.
Equipment, merch.
Yeah, and we're talking 90s PA gear, bro.
Yeah, the big stuff.
Jeff would know.
Yeah.
We had 2 racks of power amps that took like 6 people to get, a foot and a half off the ground into the back of the trailer. We had 2 of those. Then we had obviously all the speakers and the lights and everything. So that trailer was heavy as shit. In fact, that trailer was so heavy, it actually broke the welds on the hitch that we had on the bus.
Oh, geez.
That was while I was driving one morning. While the sun was coming up, the trailer wasn't centered on the bus anymore. It was centered on the bus for the previous 23 hours. But then when the sun came up, I looked through my mirrors at 4 a.m. and I saw more trailer on the left than I did on the right.
Oh my God.
Like, it's kind of weird. So I pulled over and looked up under the bus, and half of the hitch, the weld had busted off of it, and it was about to go. It was one more weld break away from
God.
But that's a different story. That's just how much weight we had.
Oh, that's not the story.
Climbing the hill to see Mount Rushmore, if anyone's ever been there. Interestingly, you don't get near as close as you think you would. Like, if you've seen Mount Rushmore on a postcard or a TV show, you're good.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you don't need to go see it
It's
in person.
so far away.
It's so far away that it's actually just better to see it on the postcard. Just stop at a gas station close, buy the postcard, and look at it and be like, that's really neat. Because driving all the way the fuck up there, the closest they let you get to it is like, is that it over there? The white dots? And those white dots over there? You don't even get to see it.
It is far away. And also when you look at it, it's like, it's pretty amazing when you see Mount Rushmore because it was like carved. It's so big. Like I don't know how artists do it anyway in something that's like Moses behind you, but something that big, I don't know how they can even focus on where to carve, but it's done. It's amazing. And all the rubble is just there in a big pile. It's like, okay.
And I was just kidding. It's worth seeing.
It's totally worth seeing.
You basically go up this road that leads to the parking lot, and the parking lot is just kind of like a somewhat narrow and long parking lot, kind of like in the shape of, say, a football field. And I don't even know if it's that big. Might be more like a basketball court. Well, it's probably bigger than a basketball court, but somewhere between there and a football field. From what I remember, maybe it's bigger now. I went a long time ago. But you go from what I remember, you go into the parking lot one way, and then you basically take a big loop and you got to come back out the same way. Mm-hmm. Halfway up the hill before we get to the parking lot, the bus breaks down. So now we're broke down on the side of the mountain. We can't even see Mount Rushmore yet. We still got a little quarter mile to go, half mile to go before we get to the parking lot. Mm-hmm. So we're broke down. We have a bag phone, so we got to make our calls count. So
raise your hand if you had a bag phone.
Yeah, there was no cell phone. We had a bag phone, so we had to make our calls count. So what we had to do is we had to call home. That's what we did when we broke down. We would call home first, and the owner of the bus back home, we would tell them the situation and tell them where we're at. Then they would just get on a regular landline and make calls all over the city that we were near to see if anybody could work on a 1964 fucking GMC bus, city bus. Like those parts are on the shelf at Walmart.
Right.
Like none.
Right.
No. Won't start.
And this was a 1964 city bus that was converted.
That was converted.
It's okay. Think of that. Look, what was it? An Eagle? What was it? GMC. You said GMC.
GMC.
So Google that, people, and see what that looks like.
Yeah. Anyway, so and we still have the trailer hooked on, which we're on an incline. Just the trailer alone felt like it was pulling the bus back down the hill. It was so fucking heavy.
Oh God.
We're stuck there. We all start getting in fights with each other because it's hot and we can't run the AC and we don't know when anybody's coming to help.
Oh, God.
Because you got to find someone in town that can work on that bus. So
right.
But before that, or after that, you also got to find a wrecker that is strong enough to carry a 35-foot bus with a 20-foot trailer pulling behind it.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So a couple of hours after being on the side of the hill at Mount Rushmore, this wrecker pulls up. It's the biggest fucking goddamn
the biggest fucking wrecker
tow
you've
truck
ever seen.
I've ever fucking
Yeah.
seen in my life. I don't know if many of you have spent much time on the road and have seen the kind of wrecker I'm talking about. It's unfucking believable. It was as big as our bus. He was 35 feet.
Oh my God.
He was 35 feet fucking big. Giant, big old diesel, huge thing. You know, you guys have probably seen him pulling 18-wheelers down the road. He gets in front of our bus and gets us hooked up in the front. Now we got 35 feet plus the linkage, plus 35 more feet, plus the tongue, plus 16 more feet of trailer.
Oh God.
And there's no way to turn around. We're on a 2-lane highway that goes up or down, going up the side of the mountain.
Where is the band sitting?
We had to get into the wrecker with him.
You could all fit in the wrecker?
The thing was 35 feet. Fucking thing had a sleeper on it and a playground. There's a swimming pool on the back. It's the biggest fucking wrecker you've ever seen in your fucking life. We all got in with him. But now we can't turn around. There's no way to turn around to get back down the hills where we needed to go to find a place to work on a 1964 GMC bus. The only way to do it would be to go up to the Mount Rushmore parking lot and turn around there. Sounds kind of easy, right?
Well, because
not when it was the size of a basketball court.
Right. But there's sort of a circle at that area.
I
mean, for normal cars, there's a circle.
We're talking 70, 86 plus 5, 91 plus 4 or 5 between truck and bus. We were like 97 feet long.
Oh, Jesus God. But all wiggly. Like
it was a train.
It was like a train.
We were a train.
So you could make curves, but
so he had to wide swing it into the park. Yeah. We had to ask people to move their cars. Like the guy in the wrecker, we had to stop halfway into the parking lot of the Mount Rushmore, actually get out and ask several people to move their cars. Hey, is this your car? Is this your car? You got to move it. Got into there and tried to swing that whole train around the parking lot at Mount Rushmore. In doing so, the driver's side mirror, doesn't matter. One of our rear view mirrors, I think it was passenger side, actually, now that I think about it, caught on something and busted it off. Oh my God. Broke it. Gone. The mirror's not hanging. It's busted and gone. But we didn't know that happened.
Oh man.
We didn't know that happened.
Because you're all up in the big giant cab with the
we're just
swimming pool.
Barreling through Mount Rushmore's parking lot like a big fucking train. Everyone's just like, what the hell are these guys doing? Finally get through there, broke a mirror off of our bus. A 1964 mirror.
1964.
A mirror made
city bus.
In 1964.
Not even a fancy RV. Like you would think. You would think
not available on Amazon.
Amazon didn't exist.
Exactly. We got out of the parking lot and was able to head the next direction. And the closest place that would work on a bus like ours is like an hour away.
Yeah.
So we're an hour drive with this guy and we're pulling this 100-foot train. We get to the place. We're sitting out there in the blistering heat, waiting for them to try to figure out what's wrong with it. They're running all these tests. This bus doesn't have a computer that you can just plug in and find out what's wrong with it.
Right.
So they're going through everything. They're testing. They're coming back out. They're calling back to Springfield, the guy that owns the bus, like, well, did you ever have this done to it? Did you ever have that done to it? We're like an hour and a half, 2 hours doing this shit. They can't find anything wrong with the bus. Then they check the gas tank.
Oh, no.
And we were out of gas.
The dumbest fucking thing ever.
They fill it up with gas, starts right up, but we don't have a mirror. So you cannot drive a rig like that on the highway without your passenger side mirror and a 20-foot trailer behind you, because that's basically just death waiting to happen.
Totally.
So we have to stay at the Cummings diesel repair shop on the side of the highway in bumfuck Egypt and wait for somebody to find a rear view mirror for a 1964 bus.
Where? This was Mount Rushmore. Where was your show?
I don't remember.
And when was it? Was it?
I don't know.
Did you miss it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We almost broke up as a band that day because we sat in the parking lot just waiting for a mirror.
Yeah.
And it was hours. We were at Cummings for like 6 hours waiting for this fucking mirror.
Oh my God.
And we started fighting with each other. We almost got in fist fights. Finally, they got a mirror. And
Well, you were all basically children.
and nothing was wrong with the bus to begin with.
Fucking gas. Because who? All of you collectively did not know to put gasoline or diesel, whatever it was, fuel.
It was at an incline. So when we started up the mountain, it appeared
God.
that we had plenty of gas.
Oh,
Neighborhood of a quarter of a tank, probably.
oh my.
But when you take a quarter of a tank and that big of a gas tank and you put it at 40 degrees,
Just wouldn't start.
now all of a sudden the gas isn't getting to where it needs to get, and the thing was still reading quarter of a tank or whatever. I don't know. So that's why I'm not fond of Mount Rushmore.
Oh, so it has nothing to do with Mount Rushmore itself.
No, not at all.
You're such a jerk.
I'm a walking contradiction.
You are. He is. In a walking. There's another word. There's another word for you. Somebody give Dan another word.
Asshole,
Maybe. Give Dan another word.
jerk face.
Something like that. A whole other word.
I'm leaving 20 stories out of that story.
I know. Oh my God.
So somewhere,
So everybody was like quiet and listening. And Shell, she pops in. He is just Daniel.
he's just Daniel.
He's
Leave
just
him
Daniel.
alone.
Leave him alone.
That's exactly right.
That's because you wub him. Just like you and Stephanie, you just wub Dan.
That's
so he,
exactly
he can
right.
just get away with anything, right? Right. And Brian also said, Brian Betancourt says, and then go around the corner when you're at Mount Rushmore, go around the corner and see Crazy Horse, which they still haven't finished.
I would like to. I remember being a kid. I don't know if I was at the museum that's down in the basement of the St. Louis Arch. It might have been there, or it might have been at an art museum field trip when I was like in 3rd grade. And I remember seeing information about they're going to start that statue.
The Crazy Horse.
It hadn't even started.
Right. It was
yet.
still just rocks.
Or I mean,
he wasn't even doing this yet.
Oh no,
Yeah,
no.
Yeah.
It was. They might have blasted a hole in the mountain, and that was about it.
Well, it wasn't really a
I
hole.
was like 10 years. Well, they had to get through where his hand.
Oh, right.
I'm saying, like,
I got you.
It was before it was any kind of a form.
Right. Yeah.
And I remember being like 10 years old when I first heard about that.
Yeah, I hadn't even heard of it until
They're
I was
still
there.
not done.
I was at Mount Rushmore when I was a child, so I must have been 7 or 8 years old on one of our trips to across. We were van lifers before van life was cool, man, back in the day. And it had to be I was 8 or 9 years old, so we went to Mount Rushmore there, and Crazy Horse was not started then.
Yeah.
So, and when I went back as a band in the mid 90s, they had that started with the hole like you talked about.
Yeah.
But I don't think they've done anything to it since.
It's been a weird story. We got to get into
We got to
story
figure it out.
because it's going to be really cool.
Yeah. If they just do it.
But
Just do it.
anyways,
I love this. First of all, let me back up. Brian Betancourt says, Dick. That's your name.
that's one for me.
That's one for
That'll
you.
work.
Mhm.
That'll work.
And of course, Shell comes back with, he just needs to write a book already and then do the audiobook. Yes.
Yeah, I could do that.
That'd be fantastic.
It's basically what this podcast is.
Yeah. It's totally, it's your book.
Between our stuff and Monday mornings and Thursday
Yeah.
nights.
It's just a book.
I'm just documenting my life.
Just documenting your life, playing around. I like it. Yep.
Oh,
Are you tired?
No,
You got up early.
I'm tired of your shit.
My shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how about this? Shell says, "All right, asshole." How
Asshole.
about that? Right. Mhm.
I get that one a lot.
Let's hear about this new multi-camera angle. That's what Jody Guy's saying. You want to hear about it? Was he not here last week when we did this?
I don't know if he
I'm
was
not
here
sure.
last week or not. But yeah, we're just trying some new ideas.
Yeah.
Getting ready for a whole kind of little adjusted, enhanced direction this year.
Yeah, for the whole podcast idea, not just tonight, not just Thursday
everything,
nights,
not
yeah.
just Thursday
Yeah.
nights. Yeah,
Everything's getting a little.
just to be clear,
A
I say it
makeover.
about every other week. Thursday night is not our podcast.
Right. For those of you who don't know,
This is not our podcast. This is just us.
Jody says he was absent last week, but he likes it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, bud. And Jared also says, I sense a what else is coming up. But yeah, so this is not our podcast. Unsung Dreamers. Those of you who don't know, there is an entire audio podcast going on. Audio wise, just everywhere you get your podcast. Unsung Dreamers podcast. That is the big umbrella idea of this podcast. Screamers is just a fun thing we do on Thursday nights to hang out with you guys. We started this kind of during the pandemic. I think this is what it says number 69. So we've been doing this almost 70 weeks.
69.
I know. I knew it. I knew you'd say that.
I had to beat Jeff to it.
Yeah, I know. Totally.
She said 69.
I said 69. It's pretty hot. And so go look at it. There's 54 episodes.
Listen to it.
Well, go look at it so you can. There's so many people to choose from. Some people you might know, some people you might not know. It's a really cool idea.
Some people aren't with us anymore.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
And so as far as those conversations are concerned, I think we're just making some minor adjustments to kind of that direction, but that's really going to be something we focus more on this year.
You said moron.
And and are getting set up to actually film them all instead of just doing audio only. So there's just a lot of fun little things. You know, I'm sure we'll come up with another name and another logo.
Something brand new.
Something that'll make Jared happy.
To confuse everybody.
Yes, they've named a new show.
Another new show. What are we doing?
Oh man. Speaking of Jody Guy, I've got my drum set right here, sitting on my table as part of the decor. Yeah.
I wanted to bring the bugs too, but that would be a lot. We got our doohickey right here.
We're starting up our pile of shit in the middle of the table.
You got a pile of shit and our rose that he and Sandy gave us. So yeah, we've got all kinds of there goes Shell 69.
69. Hey, have you heard Beavis and Butthead's coming back?
We talked about that already.
We did?
Either on Thursday or Monday morning. We can't remember our own shit, but we did talk about that.
I don't think so.
I think so. Can you guys confirm? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So Brian Betancourt says, tell us more about these podcasts you speak of. Are you talking about the interviews, Brian, that we just talked about? Because it's individual people, a lot of musicians and promoters and even a rodeo clown.
Let me see that.
And stuff. What are you looking at?
Well, you just keep that.
Okay. So we have 54 individual interview episodes with different people about town here in Springfield and the surrounding area. And also outside of this area, we have other people like Jimmy Fortune from the Statler Brothers. He's one of our interviews. And Greg X. Balls from Petra. He's one of our interviews. But there's a lot of interesting local musicians as well. And just local people in general. So Dan's going to tell you a little some. I don't know what he's got up his sleeve, but what you going to say?
In alphabetical order, we have
Oh.
had conversations with Bob Davidson, Bob Heil, Bobby Hoskins, Cameron Bedell, Cassandra Carson, Cindy Tucker, Clinton Hausman, Kanita Silva, the Creek Rocks, me and Tara, Dan and Tara,
Yeah.
David Frizzell, Deb Shelton, Donnie Ray Stevens, Eddie Hines, Eric Gwynn, Aaron Gabrielle Pau, Galactic Thrust, Gary Bedell, Greg X Volts, Heather Volts, Ivy Schulte, Jared Isaacs, Jason Farley, Jay Stevens, Jeff Ward, Jimmy Fortune, Jody Guy, Cotton Gim, Joe Dillstrom, John Dillon, Jonna Volts, Joshua Poole, Justin Larkin, Kim Painter, Chris Palmer, Krista Meadows, Kristen Dinar, Marty Jones, Monty Lortz, Monty Colvin, Nathan Bryce, Orrin Thornton, Paul Carson, Paul Tomlinson, Reed Smith Heron, Rico Samuel, Ron Hill, Russ Weatherby, which is not available anymore.
Right.
Because he's a puss.
Maybe it will be now that he started his own business.
He's such a puss. Sade Shine, Savvy J, Shane Jennings, Sister Lasteel, Steve Muller, Stevie Newman, and the Wades.
Dude, that is a shit ton of our local people.
So yeah, man. You should go check some of them out.
Check some of them out. And Jared put his own episode, number 38, right out here.
Number 38.
Number 38. So they're all up there. But there's so many, and we're going to do so many more, and we're changing the format, obviously, with all this new stuff we're doing here and the way the studio looks and everything. We're trying to kind of changing our format a little bit but we will be having more conversations with people. It's just, how would you describe it?
I already did 3 times.
I know, but
it's just a little different. There's not really much to describe it. I think it's just going to be a little less structured, a little less formal, and less rules and things like that. And just conversations with, some people that we believe, should be heard.
Yeah. And so I want to put this out there too, is that who would you like to see us sit down and have a conversation with? They don't have to be musicians or anybody that might be what people think is in the limelight or something. I don't know. If you know a really cool nurse that was awesome to you, let's talk about that. Let's get him or her on the show. A policeman. I don't know. Anybody that is just an interesting person that has meant something to you in some way. Let us know. UnsungScreamers@gmail.com. Just give us an email and let us know who these people are and maybe how we can contact them.
We've also got a neat idea in the works. It's not anything formal. I shouldn't even be mentioning it yet because it's such a little tiny baby embryo. But at the same time, it could start and happen anytime. But we're going to offer like I don't know if you'd call it a service or something, but it'd be a paying gig. It'd be something you'd have to pay for. But if you've got that matriarch or patriarch in your family that you would love to, if you could think to yourself, like, man, I'd love for like my 80-year-old grandmother or mother, father or grandfather or somebody, I would love for Dan and Tara to sit down and talk with them for 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
We don't have to release it publicly.
Right.
It would just literally be for you and your family.
Yeah.
And Tara and I might be able to get some information out of them that maybe you don't feel as comfortable to get out of, or it would just be kind of too awkward for you to do yourself. And I don't know. There's a lot of people out there that don't have that ability to sit down and talk to their parents or grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas since we don't have a connection with them, we might be able to get some fun stories out of them that maybe you couldn't have gotten out of them yourself.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
Or
kind of like creating a bit of a biography for your family.
Yeah.
That you could sit down and listen to, and if down the road some grandkids come along that never ever got to meet that person, I would do anything right now to have a 3-hour conversation with my dad, or my grandma or my grandpa, actually.
Right.
I'd love to just hear their voice. So it's one of those kind of lasting things we will start making available probably this year.
Right.
But that's going to be a totally different thing that you can like buy probably through our
as
website
a little package
or something like that, where we might do more than one conversation. We can do entire families So I basically just gave Jared a new business idea that he'll probably start up this year, and he'll call it Audio Roast Family Talk.
Right before you said that, he said, "That's a great idea, Dan. Love it. You guys would be great at that." Right before you said that.
He's already working on the logo. Audio Roast Family Talk.
Family Java. Let's go with the coffee theme.
Family Java.
See, I just gave him an idea right there. But it's really,
we've been talking about it for about 2 years.
Yes,
actually.
and also in that same idea is at Thanksgiving, very informally, I just hit the recorder on my phone and we had a 4-hour story time from my dad.
Yeah.
My almost 80-year-old dad. And he told some Navy stories, some submarine stories. I'd never heard some of these.
Mom?
I asked him very intense questions about his relationship with my mom, because they divorced. People get divorced. And so, and some things were answered for me that I didn't know what the answer was until that conversation just this past Thanksgiving. So this kind of thing could be fun, especially if the family members like maybe even give us some questions to ask, because maybe they'll tell us something that they'd feel weird about telling their own family
especially
member.
if there's something weird, because that's in my wheelhouse.
Yes.
I love weird shit and uncomfortable conversations.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't care to get into that stuff. But the reason why I acted like it's kind of an idea that's an embryo and still in development is because our studio is actually pretty multifaceted. We've spent the last year, we are now capable of digitizing VHS tapes. We're kind of, not really, but we could do film, but I'm not really set up for that yet.
Yeah.
Transferring slides into photos, gathering photos, making photo files, whether it be, even designing photo books, including audio, gathering up audio, digitizing all this kind of stuff.
Digitizing some VCR type ideas too.
The thing is that's not hard to figure out. Everybody out there can figure it out. But if it was something that a family collectively paid for, where we could actually do that as maybe one of our days of work, it's just something that, even though it's easy to do, there's just a lot of people who don't have time to do it. Yeah. So that's why it would have to cost money before it'd be worth my while to do it.
Of course, but it takes a lot of time.
The studio is able to put together like a family box set.
Yeah.
Like, here's a box set of your whole family.
Right.
If you've got any recordings or videos or
which you
film,
you did a lot of that kind of thing for your roast. So if people saw the video that was played before your roast,
that was the beta.
Our wonderful patrons get to see that anytime they want. It's on Patreon.
That was the beta of this idea.
Of the idea of what we're capable of being able to do. And we are already getting so many suggestions. Like,
great.
People are writing in. I'm going to find this one right here. This Jody guy says, "I want you to interview Mom. The 60s, then Jimmy, then Lou, and now." Oh my gosh.
That would be fantastic.
And those of you who don't know, she's talking about Lou Whitney. When she says Lou, she was married to Lou Whitney. It's like a musician royal family.
Jody.
Yes. I'm sorry. When he's talking about his mom, so she was married to Lou. Right. And and then Jimmy, their dad, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that would be a wonderful
great. And
interview.
it might be several conversations.
And that could just be one of these regular conversations we're talking about as well.
Yeah.
And so even let's see. Jared says, I wanted to do that for my grandma who turned 94 years old, to be able to present my family for Christmas, but that part of my family doesn't even get together anymore. Yeah, see? Right.
Yeah, and it's a wild concept, and I think that having someone else do it could be, a very specific part of the situation, depending on your family dynamic. There might be some families that can just talk about things just so openly and so wonderfully,
right?
And that's great. It seems like more often than not, you've got some burns here and there. And even with the burns, I think it could still be interesting if somebody could just take their own time to listen to grandma talk. So if grandma's got kids that don't get along anymore, they might still get a lot out of the conversation if they don't have to deal with the brother they hate.
Oh my
or the
gosh,
sister
yes.
they hate.
Right.
It's just a conversation with grandma, whether you love each other or not.
And that way that
sounds kind of weird, but it still could be valuable like that.
Yeah, and she or he or whatever can be the focus instead of this weird rivalry or something. If there's a rivalry,
Whatever. I'm going to get paid to do it. Though.
That's
not
the
doing
point
this.
he's trying to make.
I'm not doing this shit out of the goodness of my
Not doing
heart.
it out of the goodness.
But it would be badass. I'm telling you, it will be super duper badass. And if you want to just bring a big box of VHS tapes and you want to turn them into YouTube videos that the whole family could get a private code that only they can see it on YouTube, I can do that for you too.
Yep. We can totally set up the YouTube channel. It's all private. It's not public, or if you wanted it public, that's fine. You can
make this VHS tape be on YouTube?
We sure can, honey.
Well, I got the converter and everything. Look, Mom, I got the pyramids in my hands.
Jules is funny. She says, we're fucking colorful in our family, as in the language, to say the very least.
I bet.
I bet that's so true.
I don't doubt it.
And we have some people saying that, like Stephanie saying that, yeah, Jody Guy's mom would be a great interview. I missed one from earlier. I just want to come back to Donnie Ray. Donnie Ray Stevens says, I think it would be so cool if y'all interviewed my brother, Mark, full-time musician, had some of the experiences growing up on the road with mom and dad, but even more so. Yeah.
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah, that would be another one that's great.
I'd love to talk to him, or I'd love to talk to both of them together. This is what we're kind of talking about earlier when we were saying we might change our direction a little bit in the podcast. This is the types of things we were talking about. Instead of it being so isolated to local Springfield musicians, it's more just like kind of getting into like who still has stories that have been untold. Maybe they're told amongst your groups and stuff. And maybe some of these conversations we have this year aren't even necessarily going to turn into episodes on the podcast. Some of them people might want them to just stay private, especially if it was something like with grandma or grandpa or things like that. But as far as like connecting bigger dots and having bigger stories around bigger ideas that still are just kind of like, oh, this guy over here's got a great story, but he's not a local Springfield musician. Like, well, yeah, no shit.
Right.
We put ourselves in that box, which I'm glad we did. I'm still going to hopefully talk to local Springfield musicians. But at the same time, I don't want some people to think, well, I'd love to be on their podcast, but I'm not a musician.
Right.
It's like, no, you don't. You don't have to be.
Yeah.
That's all we're saying, is just opening up the gates a little bit to like just sit and have cool conversations with people, whether it's their life story or not.
Yeah, and I think that's why we started with we didn't start with, but we had Jason Farley, who's a rodeo clown. I mean, it kind of changed our thought when we got to talking with him and got him on the show, and then all of a sudden it was like, wait a minute. I love the music scene. I love musicians, but there are so many other people that are just freaking really, really cool.
So keep those ideas coming to us. If you know our numbers and stuff, just text us. But
and I know you're commenting here, but I would request also that you send us an email or a text or a message through Facebook. That way we can have something that we have easier. We can find it easier. So all these recommendations are fantastic, and we've gotten like 4 or 5.
But it's tough to go back through all these comments. Right. So if you know us and can just text us some ideas or send them to the Unsung Dreamers email, Gmail, I mean, you can do stuff like that too, and be like, man, this would be cool. This would be cool.
Right.
You
Please
should talk
do
to this
that.
person. Yeah.
That way we can have a visual record of it, because we know as we get a little bit older, our memories fade, especially mine. I have a terrible memory.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to kind of close on this, but I lived in this house over on Elm and Pickwick for years and years. It was just one of the coolest houses I've ever lived in. And I spent 10 to 12 years fixing it up, remodeling it. I was only the 3rd owner of that house since it was built. And I had just some very bullet point things of like the first family that was there, and then the second family that was there. I bought it from the daughter of that second family. She was 7 years old when they moved in that house, and she was in her 70s when I bought it from her. So she lived there her whole entire life. That house, we did some badass stuff there. It was a cool ass house, if I say so myself.
It was beautiful.
But it was featured in the local Springfield news leader, and a gigantic 2-page, back when we still had newspapers. There used to be a home section in the Springfield News Leader, and when you opened it up, the full 2 pages, everything was all these photos of my house and an interview that they had done with us with all that we had known about the house. Well, the brother of the sister that I bought the house from, he lived in Nashville, and there were several people actually from Springfield that were contacting him going, hey, your house, of course, to him, it was still his house. Your house is in the Springfield News Leader. And he was like, oh my gosh, that's pretty cool. And so somehow, some way, he got a hold of my phone number, and he called me and asked me if it would be okay if he stopped by to come take a look at the work that I had done on his childhood home.
Right.
He's living in Nashville, been there forever. Doesn't really come back to Springfield all that often, but maybe, he was going to be coming back and asked me if he could hang out. I had actually put a little Irish pub in the basement of that house.
Oh, it was so cool.
And it was legit deal, dude. We had flat screen TVs and a stage and a PA system and lighting and a bar, and we had the whole bit. So
I played that bar.
You did play that bar. And so he came over and looked around the house and just loved all this stuff. Then we went down to, I called it Brogan's. It was a bar in my basement. We went down to Brogan's for another 3 hours. And he sat and just told me stories about my own house, which used to be his house.
Mm-hmm.
But in addition to that, he actually was like a Springfield, Missouri historian.
Oh, wow.
Before he moved to Nashville. This is the kinds of work he does. He's like a professor in a university or something like this. And that's what he does, is these not city, but what do they call it? Urban, not urban, but
rural?
No, yeah, urban.
Urban.
Yeah, like urban
city.
History. Right. Yeah. And then rural is the out in the country.
Is country, yeah. Ish.
And that's what he did. So he told me all about where the streetcars, he's like, there used to be streetcars going down here, and the track actually went down Pickwick, and and that's back when Henry had his, grocery store on this corner over here, and they tore that down, and that's where the Emos is and all this kind of stuff. We sat there for 3.5 hours. I'm telling you, if I would have had a podcast then,
yeah,
if I could talk to that kind of guy,
yeah,
I don't need musicians particularly, but it was one of the most fascinating 3 hours I had spent with this guy, and how much stuff he knew about Springfield. So I just am throwing that out there again to kind of encourage people, like, man, if you know anyone that's kind of a fun, neat person that knows their shit like that,
mm-hmm.
Those are the kind of conversations I'm looking forward to in this 2022.
2022.
We might even have some heated political debates.
We might break our rules.
We might break our rules and talk about vaccines.
Those of you who've been on the show,
video shuts down.
There were there were rules when we sat down at the table. There's Jared and Joshua and all people who've been on the show before, but we might just break those rules because we're not going to put any.
I'm not going to become a political podcast.
Oh,
Don't
God,
worry
no.
about that.
No.
However,
but we might discuss.
Conversations might be had,
and it might get
so
a little, I don't know, a controversial, meaning there might be people who have disagreements and want to talk about some shit. And I don't know. They might want to express their opinion, and we're not going to suppress that. So we're going to change that. Again, like Dan said, we're not going to become any kind of political
no way, Jose.
Show or anything, but we're not going to stop it. We're not going to hesitate, because you know what? It's interesting how many topics are political, but they don't have really anything to do with who's in office. You know what I mean? Dan?
Yeah.
So
sure.
I just don't want
Don't over talk. We've already talked. I mean,
I'm
there's just.
not over talking. I'm
not
expressing an
criticizing you. I'm
opinion.
just saying the more you keep talking, the more you're going to commit to something that we don't even
I'm
know
not
if we want
committing to anything. I'm not.
I'm saying, you know how it is.
I know what you're saying. But I'm saying that it's going to be a neat new format. That's all. I guess the bottom line is all I'm going to say there is right there. So we're going to probably close out here pretty soon. And in the meantime, we want everybody to listen to our Monday morning medication that's on Monday mornings. This week we kind of released it midday because we just had stuff to do. Anyway, I won't go into that. But usually Monday at some point, usually in the morning, we release our Monday morning medication.
We didn't have stuff to do. We were hung over from watching the Chiefs play Sunday night till 2 a.m.
It was just the Chiefs.
It was just all we were doing was watching
watching the Chiefs, and they were done by 10.
That's all we were doing.
That's all we were doing.
Tune in live every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central
on the Unsung Screamers Facebook page, YouTube channel, and Twitter.
And check out our Unsung Screamers podcast
wherever you get your podcasts.
Ah!